In your next stage, it requires the analyst to find out to solve that desired problem, that what input and output should be taking place when you want to solve a problem. Input means that when you want to what you want to add as an information from your keyboard or any sort of input device, and output means that what is going to be your result, right? So in this, you are going to identify that what is your input and output. The second thing that we need to discuss is that what processing needs to be done. In the third stage, we need to discuss that what problems exist with the current system. So this is the reason that we are implementing this analysis design stage so that we can change it. And with the fourth option, we need to understand that how user and information requirements are for the new system. So one method that data analyst can use is that they can take help of a data flow diagram or such as an DFD. This is basically an example of a diagram that follows the reservation when a booking flight is on an aeroplane. So that's just an example of a DFD, a data flow diagram. And as the diagram says, it is referring to you that in which direction your data is moving. Like, for example, if you can see that this says that flight schedules checked. So flight schedules are mostly checked just after your customer has made a flight inquiry. Your flight details are inputted. Input means that your flight details are added by your customer, and that is also done just after your customer has made a flight inquiry. Now, just after your customer has made a flight inquiry, that means that your booking is confirmed. And just as your booking is confirmed, you can see that an e-ticket is issued to the customer. So in the data flow diagram, you can see the exact flow of your program, right? Like for example, the first thing is that I need to do this, and then I need to go to the my second step, that is my that if either if the flight booking is confirmed or not, and that's the third stage, right? So it basically shows you the stages as well. This is your stage number one, this is your stage number two, and this is your stage number three, right? So a data flow diagram is showing you that in which flow your data is moving, or what is your sequence of that, right? For example, as you can see right here, that booking system database on hard drive. This is also this means that flight data is collected and confirmation is made. So do you have any queries in data flow diagram? Do you have any
Mm,
questions there?
better. No, I don't have any query.
Now, from the data flow diagram, you can get the following informations that I have just discussed with you in the diagram is that first of all, you can see that what inputs are taking place during your customer inquiry. For example, in this data flow diagram, you can see that what customer what a customer keys in their flight details, such as their names of passenger, their passport number, their details of flights, and so on. You can also set that what are the outputs that are being produced. You can also check that what are the processing that has to be done, such as their flights, such as their processes. And the last one is that you can also check that what storage may be needed. For example, you might be needing a database to store all of your important files. So this can be recognized by a data flow diagram and DFD that is just explained to you right here. So with the help of this DFD diagram, it is going to help you in Identifying that any problem that occurs in the current system. This is done by looking at the data flows in each of the process and looking for the areas where problem could be occurred. This can also help you out in specifying the user requirements. Now, we are going to discuss this as well in detail, that what is the difference between a user requirement and an information requirement. So, a user requirement is basically used to solve your problem, right? For example, if you are a user and you want to solve your problems, and it could be any problem. Like, for example, in this chapter, the problem is that we want to replace the systems, right? So in your user requirements, you are going to specify that what are going to be your specific needs, right? That what you basically require to solve that problem. That is your requirements. For example, you are a student. So what is your basic requirement, your user requirement? That could be that someone who is able to deliver you lecture, a lecture of your choice, that is your IT, and you should be able to understand that what he's trying to explain. So these are all your requirements. So in user requirements, you don't just solve the problem. However, you only work on understanding that how a business works. That means that business managers do not really know how computers could help them. The user requirements are designed to help with this problem. So user requirements are written by the analyst for the business managers who are the customers. They can be written in any natural language with very fewer technical details or jargons. However, their basic purpose is to allow your customer to check that what is the analysis purpose or what is going to be investigated. For example, if the company employs people with disabilities, does uh, uh, does the new hardware is taken into account or not, right? So that means that this is a user requirement, that they should be able to run computers that are created for the disabled people. Requirements can also be defined, like, for example, if you are a user and you are purchasing a mobile phone or a laptop, there might be your requirements as well. User requirement, what can be that? You might be able to play games, you might be able to watch movies, you might be able to take good pictures, the camera should be good, or maybe if you are an Apple user or iPhone user, so this is your user requirement. So the user requirement basically describes you, that what the analyst should think that the customer do with the system. See, so I'm basically providing you different examples within the same domain, but as per your chapter number 7 is considered, here we are all discussing on one problem and area, that the systems are outdated, and I'm using a system analyst to solve this problem. So I hope that I'm clear till now and you don't have any confusions till use that requirement. Do you have any confusions?
No.
Okay, now let's move on to the information requirement, and now we are going to discuss that what is the difference between the user requirements and information requirements. So, user requirement is basically, I just explain you and in simple and easy words, it what your user mostly require. If I talk about this information requirement, now information requirement refers to the information that is needed to support your business, right? Or the information that are made up of what is the date, what is the timing, how you are going to solve that. So see, so information basically means any data that is useful to you, and information requirement means that supportive data, that additional supportive data, that at what time, at which date it is going to be functional or when it is going to be solved. Whereas a user requirement is user oriented. This means that what a user wants, right? That we solve it, that what a user wants, like this. So in terms of an information required, this is basically an additional information to support the business, and They are made up of two types of things, that what is your data and what is that what when is the timing. So a system analyst can turn the information and the user requirements into a functional requirement specification, so that it should be cleared in a list that what do the customers expect, what do the vendors expect, and when systems are going to be ready. So who are the customers and how they interfere with the system. So these are basically some examples of requirement. Who are your vendors, who are your sellers, and how they should be interfering with the system. Who are your employees, and how they are and how they should interact with the system, or things like this. Example, and in system specification, the data flow diagram and other information can help you contain the information, so that analysis team can identify that what hardware and software is required to run run the system. So for example, identification of hardware and software is equally important. For example, if I'm giving you an example of a supermart, so in a supermart and in a checkout process means that whenever you purchase any item, and just after purchasing that uh, item, you go on to the your checkout area, your cart area. So you are able to see that I have a barcode added on a back of every product, and what the shop owner do is that he scans the barcode, and we have that printed receipt and the sales price of that. So this basically happens with the help of a software and hardware, and the identification of software and hardware also falls into your system specification. The data flow diagram can also help you with it, your analysis team, to understand that what should be the hardwares in this. So first of all, I can discuss about barcode readers and what is the primary responsibility of a barcode reader. Is that using a barcode reader avoids the need to manually input data about goods, which is more efficient, which is less error prone and less expensive in the long run. I can even use scanners, and these could be used if it is necessary to convert any existing paper document into any electronic form. I can use touch screens because this is the best and the cost-effective way of gathering information from a business customer. And we can have the identification and justification of output devices as well, that for example, why I might need a 3D printer. That maybe that if the company is manufacturing twice, and for example, if it is too cost effective to do to just create a toy in a conventional way. So before the identification of the hardware and software, you also need to identify that why do I need that, like for example, if you are taking my class with the help of an iPad or a laptop, so you would first have identified that why would I require software or a hardware that may I mean that laptop, right? That is obviously because I'm taking a class, right?
Yes.
So, just in the justification of just after the justification of your hardware, software is equally important, and in software, I can look into it that what is my specific requirement. Do I need to go along with the Android, or should I go along with the iPhone users? For example, one of the most primary concept is the your operating system, and operating system is the most appropriate one that any company needs. Operating system helps you to operate all of your tasks. I can give you the example of application software. So there is a difference between operating system and application softwares. And operating system is basically a platform that provides you a space for running for all of your applications. For example, let it be Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8. These are all some examples of operating software that provides you the basic functionalities. However, when it comes to an application software, that means that now you are installing and you are utilizing different applications into your system. Let it be Microsoft Word, let it be Microsoft Excel, or let it be any other application. That means that you are using those applications to make your complete use. So for example, if you want to attend my class, you need to install an application software, that is Zoom. For example, if you want to complete your assignment, you need to install another application software, that is a Word, right? So these are all off shelf. Off shelf means that is not a part of your operating system, right? The last thing is that I also need to consider my storage requirements as well. For example, what is going to be the size of the storage? Like for example, if I'm purchasing any mobile phone and laptop, that means that I'm also looking forward that uh, which type of storage that I will be requiring. Let it be in GBs, let it be in MBs, or other than that. The second type of storage can be the types of storage. The types of storage, like for example, hard disk drive, solid state drives, or even magnetic drives as well. Their choice would depend on that how data access and how data write speeds, what are the number of read and write operations, what how is the type of access, and what if and how much amount of data storage that is required to me. So I will suggest that you should be able to know that why this is important, why do I need to identify the software and this hardware as well. I explain you the hardware part, I explain you the software part as well. You don't just need to go into a lot of depth of that, right? So I hope that I'm clear with you that you should know what are barcode readers, scanners, printers, speakers, why they are used, and how I'm utilizing operating system application softwares, right? And this all comes in your system specification. So do you have any confusion still here?
No.
Now, can you tell me what is the difference between an application software and operating system?
Just a minute.